The second big area that Banu's been helpful has been in my relationship with Nik, my co-founder. Um, Basically, she's been a marriage counselor for the two of us, and for anybody that's co-founded a company, they know that co-founder relationship is like a marriage. And Nik and I have been continuing to work on our relationship since day one, but it felt like we really hit an escape velocity when we started joint coaching with Banu. That was when we started to get some external feedback into how we were communicating and the types of anti-patterns that we were bringing into those conversations that were creating these ongoing issues between us. But she also gave us tools like nonviolent communication that allowed us to better resolve conflict and find common ground on a lot of things. So we've been continuing to use those tools and her to this day. And I foresee her continuing to coach us for many years to come.
Like Cam has been working with Banu for over 2 years now. And the way I would summarize that, as the company grows, it presents new challenges. And what got you to the success in the first year of the company is different from what you need to get you to the success in a second year and a third year, and basically changes with the scale of the company. And that's, I think, why companies are such a powerful vehicles that enable us to grow as leaders, as human beings, and etc. And where Banu really brought a lot of value is helping identify behaviors that have to change as the company scales, as I'm scaling as a leader, as I'm scaling as a boyfriend, fiance now, as a friend, as a son, and etc. And also identify the behaviors, the new behaviors that need to start happening that previously haven't been there. And that are important to supporting new size of the organization. And I think this also directly transfers to my relationship with Cam. He touched on our communication. One thing that I think makes our relationship really powerful, and I think some of the most successful co-founder relationship are the ones where two people see the world through a different lens, but have the same goal and vision in mind. And that what is happening here. Cam's background is software engineering by training. I'm a dropout. Our minds work and operate differently. We communicate differently. And when we combine our ideas and thoughts, that's what helps us produce solutions that are 10 times better than any of us would come up with on our own. And the challenge we had early on was because we were somewhat speaking different languages because of our different, everything from ethnic background, educational background, the way we grew up, etc., etc. Those first meetings were very long. Like, I remember any strategy meeting in the beginning probably would take 6 hours, and 4 hours out of that was probably spent on us talking past each other or just not understanding the language of the other person. And that it would create unnecessary friction, emotions, increased volumes of our voices, and it was very taxing emotionally and physically. And if I fast forward 2 years, those meetings that were 6 hours are more now like less than an hour, because it's much easier to catch. Like, at least I catch myself and I was like, okay, I'm not hearing Cam, and he's communicating in a somewhat of a different language. I should try to understand, and Cam does the same thing for me, and it helps us to arrive to alignment as well as answers much faster. without causing unnecessary anxiety and stress for each other. So that's, I think, a like very real and tangible example, which not only saves us a lot of time, but more importantly, saves us a lot of unnecessary additional stress that could have been caused by our miscommunication or misunderstanding. And as we know, building business is already very stressful, and there's a lot of other things that cause an anxiety. So having that removed from the main relationship within building company, I believe is super critical.